Hi, I'm Stu from HiveMind Automation and welcome back to the Hive. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at these new twinkly curtain lights. As always, we'll take a look around the box, we'll take them out of the box, we'll get them set up, and we'll explore the native app. Now in a separate video, we'll explore the Home Assistant integration for Twinkly as well. So while I roll the intro, why don't you take a moment to subscribe, and if you hit the bell icon, you'll get notified when I release new videos each week. While you're at it, if you like what I do here and you want to support the channel, there's some affiliate links to smart home gadgets that you can buy for your own smart home and support the channel at the same time in the description. Or you can support the channel directly through my Buy Me a Coffee link. Of course, those affiliate links and my Buy Me a Coffee link can all be found on my website, hivemindautomation.com.au. With all of that out of the way, let's get started. So for a while, we've been looking at these twinkly curtain lights. The matrix panel that you see behind me here is also from Twinkly, and that kind of introduced us to the Twinkly family of devices, and we thought that the tech was really cool. I've seen Christmas tree lights from this brand where you can map the LEDs that are on your Christmas tree, and then you can do drawings on the mobile app or put animations on the Christmas tree, which is really, really cool. They also seem to support putting animated GIFs on the LEDs as well. So we'll take a look at that a little bit later. Now, I did film a review of the LED panel behind me, but unfortunately I lost a bunch of the footage. I haven't had an opportunity to reshoot the footage that I lost yet, but we will reserve that for another video for the twinkly squares. We did originally consider the twinkly curtain lights for the ceiling area in our alfresco area, but we kind of wanted something with a little bit more light output, which is why we ended up with the LifeX string lights that I reviewed previously. Now, I picked up this Twinkly 210 RGB plus W LED curtain for $137 on a Black Friday sale at JB Hi-Fi, down from $229. I will say though that getting them was a little bit of a struggle. They seem to have been pretty popular, and I ended up having to do a click and collect order from a JB Hi-Fi store that was a 45-minute drive away, which obviously was not ideal, but they had them in stock, and JB Hi-Fi's click and collect process is really good. Now, if you're looking to get some of these twinkly lights for yourself, there's not really a whole lot in terms of prerequisites. You are going to want the Twinkly app on your phone, and you're going to need a Wi-Fi network. Now, my guess is that this is going to be a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi device, but we're going to take a look and see if there's any detail when we do get into the setup. So as always, we'll take a quick look around the outside of the box here. So on the front, we've got Twinkly Generation 2 210 multicolor plus white app controlled RGB plus W LED. It's a curtain, what they look like there. It's a 10 by 21 scheme. There's nothing on this side. On the back here, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi certified. A couple of pictures of the app, the Twinkly logo, download on the App Store, get it on Google Play. Indoor, outdoor, 15 centimeters or 5.9 inches between LED. 210 5mm LEDs, IP44 rated, RGB plus W, 1.5 by 2.1 meters, minus 15 degrees C to plus 40 C. High quality colors. This is the color of the braid cord. It's a kind of a gray braided cord. It may be available in either a black or a green as well. On the bottom of the box here, we've got JB Hi-Fi's security seal. It says decoration lights, not suitable for household illumination, not a toy. Warning, this is a Class A product. In a domestic environment, the product may cause radio interference, in which case the user may be required to take adequate measures. High quality colored light. Same in a bunch of different languages and compliance information. And on the top here, Twinkly Generation 2. Some different symbols here indicating wireless control using the app. You can link multiple curtains together. Scheduling, music reactive there. Works with Google, works with Alexa, and it also works with Razer Chroma RGB for the gamers out there. 210 RGB RGB plus W LED there. So with the outside of the box out of the way, let's open it up and take a look at the lights themselves. So over to the unboxing, and we start by sliding the outer cover off, and then we can open the inner box, trying not to knock the camera, to reveal an instruction guide. There's a nice postcard here also from the Twinkly CEO. We've got some nice Twinkly branded stickers here as well. And then we've got the actual hardware. On the right, we've got the wall wart power supply. The wall wart power adapter is a 24 volt, 1 amp power adapter for a total of 24 watts of output. The cluster of LEDs, and then the control box, which is attached to the curtain, is wrapped around this box on the left. Now, I did go through unthreading the control box. You'll notice here that there's some perforations along the side of the box. There's nothing more in the box either. Now, I will say it would have been nice at a retail price of $229 to have had a mounting solution or something else included in the box. So to get the controller ready to plug into power, we just need to line up the keyed connector and then tighten down the screw cover like so that it's then waterproof. Laid out here on the table, you can see everything that comes in the box with the exception of the paperwork. I will say that the build quality seems really good, as I've come to expect from Twinkly products, and especially at this price. All right, so here we are, we're in the spare room. We're going to hang the curtain lights on this wall. I'm pretty sure you should be able to figure this part out for yourself. We're just going to use some temporary hooks here. So after we first power the unit up, it starts playing some animations straight away. And for the full effect, I ended up turning the lights off, and you can see that it already looks pretty good. To get the curtain paired into the Twinkly app, we'll obviously open up the Twinkly app. It opens up saying that it's looking for devices on the network, and it does this for a few seconds. And in our case, it timed out, asking us to choose a device. In our case, we're selecting the Generation 2 with the Bluetooth logo there, because we saw that Generation 2 on the outside of the box. Now, we did run into an issue where it kept prompting to activate Bluetooth to connect to the device. And it turned out that our app permissions for the Twinkly app itself had Bluetooth disabled. So we turned that back on and headed back into the Twinkly app. And this time it prompted us to add the Twinkly squares, which we're skipping this time around. We'll take a look at those in another video. And then we selected the Generation 2 again. This time we didn't get the error about Bluetooth, and it straight away started to establish the connection, telling us to hold the button on the controller down until the status LED showed a greenish blue color. When the connection is established, we then get a "Congratulations, here is your device" screen. After tapping next, we can choose whether to connect to home or office Wi-Fi, or use a direct Wi-Fi where the controller creates the Wi-Fi network to connect to, but you can only ever really control that unit when you're connected to that Wi-Fi. Using the home and office method, it scanned for available Wi-Fi networks and asked to join the Wi-Fi network, noting that it does say here that it requires a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. In the drop-down, we were able to select HiveMind IoT, which is my 2.4 gigahertz only Wi-Fi network. It is likely that this will work just fine on a dual band network, which most home routers do provide these days. I just have this 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi purely for my IoT devices. Now, after selecting the correct Wi-Fi network and entering the pre-shared key for it, or password, the device connected to the Wi-Fi, but it did take a moment to come back up, so it kind of looked like it had failed. But after making sure that the phone was on the same HiveMind IoT network, we then just needed to hit try again. Straight away, it found the device, and we had a mandatory firmware update, which we had to apply, or we weren't going to get very far. The firmware update took just under a minute to complete, and then we were prompted to give the new device a name. When we save the name, we then get this screen that says it's time to set it up. So when we then hit map lights, we get two options. Easy mapping, which uses the mobile camera to identify the position of each LED. Advanced mapping, which requires multiple recordings to get a more refined and precise result. The advanced mapping pictures a string that's wrapped around a column. These lights can then be mapped in a three-dimensional space. Now with our setup here, it is planar, so we don't need to map in 3D space. We're just going to go for easy mapping. We do get a couple of tips. We need to avoid reflective surfaces behind the LEDs to keep the mobile camera steady while mapping, and we also need to ensure moderate ambient light, so not too bright and not too dark. When we hit next, it does open up the phone camera, and we then need to point it at the curtain. When we hit start, we get a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then it starts moving the LEDs and mapping the results. Now, I will say we would probably get better results if we'd taken the mapping from front on without the 45 odd degree angle between where we were shooting from and the plane of the wall, but I still think it worked pretty well. Once the mapping process is complete, it then overlays a graphical representation of the map on top of the lights for you to get an idea of what it's figured out. And you can then either hit try again if it's really wrong, or you can hit OK to save. It's then going to show this compiling effect for this device. And we started getting this, what I'm going to call a waterfall effect on the curtain itself. Now from there, we can either hit start using the app or add another device. In this case, we're just going to hit start using the app. And then we've got these animated GIFs on screen, and we can select from any of those and they'll start to display on the curtain, like this rainbow waterfall effect, this sparkles effect, or this carnival. On our twinkly squares, we created our own scrolling text animation that just says Hive Mind Automation. And that's available for us in here as well. I will say that the pixel density of this curtain is not very high, but you can make out the words scrolling across the screen there. There's a number of built-in GIFs and effects in the gallery, and they do vary in pixel density all the way down from 8 by 8 up to 32 by 32. This rainbow apple animation looks pretty cool in the room, and I think it looks pretty good in camera as well. There's also an explore feature in the gallery where you can find community-generated animations to download and display on your curtain or other twinkly devices. Now, a lot of those animations do seem to have a much higher pixel density, like 32 by 32, which means that you might have a hard time finding animations that actually look good on this curtain. I will say this rainbow vortex effect looked really, really cool, and it's probably one of my favorites of the built-in effects. We did find a couple of decent Christmas-themed GIFs online, and we were able to get them working reasonably well, but they were not from the twinkly sources. We ended up finding those on a separate source, and we might talk about that in a separate video. So that is the twinkly curtain lights. At the Black Friday price that I got of $137, I think I'm pretty happy with them. That said, I think at the MSRP of $229, they might be starting to get a little bit on the expensive end of the spectrum there. The app itself is pretty great, and the ability to map precisely where the LEDs are in the space, particularly if you're also going to be wrapping them around a three-dimensional object like a column or maybe a Christmas tree, is really the standout feature of these lights. I feel like the R&D cost of the app and that mapping tech is where that higher price tag comes from. Now, if you want to be lazy and hang lights quickly without spending a lot of time getting every little detail of where each individual point is and making sure that it's perfect, you can still get some pretty great looking effects with a minimal amount of effort there. The Twinkly range has quite a lot in it, including string lights, cluster lights, icicle lights, C9 bulbs, candy lights that come in 4 different shapes. And you can even get pre-lit Christmas trees and garlands. I think I saw a wreath on their website as well. So if you really want to go full Clark Griswold, you can link all of your twinkly lights together, sync them up in a pretty impressive lighting display that's relatively easy to set up, but definitely not so easy on the wallet. Being able to display animated GIFs on the curtain light essentially means that you've got what amounts to a matrix display that's kind of free hanging there. I think the effect might look better if it were diffused to even out the lighting a bit more, And the other part that creates an issue, I think, is that it's really difficult to get the spacing between the LEDs consistent. As I say, it might have been a better result if we'd taken more time in the mapping step, but I still do think that the outcome was pretty good considering it's a loosely hanging curtain. The built-in effects are pretty cool, but to be honest, they're a little bit on the limited side. Having the community created effects is a nice feature, but it would be nice if there were an easy way to maybe filter out the effects that are designed and are known to look good on your particular device. Being able to create custom text scrollers and other effects from any animated GIF is pretty great. So you could reasonably create your own animated pixel art for use with the Twinkly ecosystem. Do let me know what your thoughts are about the Twinkly curtain lights in the comments section below. We do have more smart curtain light reviews coming up, starting with these Govee curtain lights, and that video should come out next week. So make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on for that one. There is one more set of curtain lights coming, and if they get here in time, that video should come out the week before Christmas. Now, speaking of Christmas, I am planning to take a couple of weeks off from releasing videos over the holiday break this year. Looking at the schedule, there would normally be a release on the 24th of December, which is Christmas Eve, and the 31st of December, which is New Year's Eve. Unfortunately, I won't be releasing videos for you on those dates this year. I will be trying to enjoy a little bit of a break, and during that break, I'll be working to streamline some of my workflows to improve the quality and my ability to get these videos out in a timely manner. Looking into the crystal ball for 2024, there's plenty of changes in the works for HiveMind Automation to hopefully improve our productions. You might have spotted a couple of the changes that we're planning throughout the course of this video, so do let me know if you did spot them and if you liked or disliked them in the comments section. I really hope that you and your loved ones have a safe and happy holiday season and that you're on the nice list so that there's plenty of smart gadgets to add to your smart homes over the break. That is all we have for this video, and I do hope that it helped you in your home automation journey. Be sure to drop a comment down below with home automation ideas that you'd like to see me cover in a future video. And don't forget to follow HiveMind Automation on Instagram and Facebook. If you liked this video, hit the thumbs up button down below to give it a like. And if you're not already subscribed, now's a great time to look at changing that. While you're at it, if you hit the bell icon, you'll get notified when I release new videos, which is normally each week. Lastly, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to support the channel, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Any contribution you make through Buy Me a Coffee does get put towards making more and hopefully better content for you to enjoy. Don't forget to check out my website, hivemindautomation.com.au. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Stu from HiveMind Automation, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.